Welcome to the HFY Tales channel. Remember to like and subscribe if you like the story. Enjoy and take care.
The sun hung low in the sky, casting a golden hue over the rugged terrain as Christopher trudged along the narrow path leading to the forbidding mountain ahead. Legends of this place whispered through the winds, tales of a formidable creature imprisoned for centuries, a being of untold power, chained to the very rock itself. The locals had warned him to stay away, citing dangers no one could name. But curiosity burned hot within Christopher, a spark ignited by years of feeling lost. This journey was not just an expedition. It was a desperate search for meaning after a tragedy that had left him feeling hollow. With each step, memories of his past began to drift through his mind, a failed relationship that had shattered his trust and left him adrift. The ache of loneliness, mingled with guilt, was a constant companion. He was determined to uncover the secrets of the mountain, to find the knowledge that might fill the void he felt inside. Stories of ancient artifacts and mystical creatures lured him deeper into the wilderness, further away from the pain that haunted his dreams. As he reached a clearing, the mountain loomed above him, its peak hidden among the billowy, swirling clouds. A chill crept into the air, and a sense of foreboding washed over him. Yet he pressed on. The stories told of an alien maiden, a beautiful being whose visage could ensnare even the most resolute hearts. Would he be able to confront his demons if he found such a being? Or would he simply add her to his collection of lost dreams? The path narrowed as Christopher navigated the underbrush, each step a testament to his resolve. Strange sounds rustled in the foliage around him, the calls of creatures unknown. As he ascended, the air thickened with an almost electric tension, a feeling that something extraordinary lay just beyond his reach. The mountain's aura was intoxicating, drawing him closer, urging him to uncover its secrets. Hours passed, and the sun dipped lower, painting the landscape in shades of crimson and purple. Just as Christopher began to wonder if he had made a dreadful mistake, he stumbled upon a massive outcrop of stone. Thick chains, glistening in the fading light, hung from the jagged edges, their links rusted and worn. Heart racing, he approached the ominous sight and peered into the dim recesses beyond. There, silhouetted against the rock, was Leilani, her ethereal form barely visible, but still breathtaking. Her skin shimmered like moonlight on water, and her long hair flowed like liquid silver. A gasp escaped Christopher's lips as he took in her beauty, but it was quickly overshadowed by sorrow. The chains binding her to the mountain glinted cruelly, their purpose all too clear. "Help me," a voice echoed in his mind, soft yet full of despair. It was a voice that transcended language, cutting through his reservations like a blade. He stumbled back, shock coursing through him. How could she speak to him without words? "You don't have to be afraid. I mean you no harm," she continued, the telepathic connection wrapping around his consciousness, pulling him closer, igniting a flicker of hope within him. "Help me break free." Torn between disbelief and compassion, Christopher kneeled before her. "What happened to you?" he asked, voice shaking slightly, as he reached out and brushed a fingertip against one of the cold, rusted links. "I was imprisoned by those who feared my power," Leilani explained, her sorrow lacing each thought shared. "Centuries ago, they sought to contain me, to erase my existence. Yet, here I remain, bound to this mountain, waiting for someone brave enough to set me free." Darting glances between the imposing chains and her pleading gaze, Christopher grappled with the realization of what this moment could mean. Could he truly trust her, this radiant being, with such an immense responsibility? Yet, as he observed the pain etched on her face, it stirred something deep within him, a longing to fight against the shackles of despair he, too, had felt. "Why should I help you?" he questioned, faking a confidence he didn't possess. "How can I know you're not a danger?" Leilani's response was immediate. "What danger lies within hope? What fear exists in the ability to choose?" Her essence flooded his mind, and for the first time, he glimpsed the depth of her isolation, something that resonated within him in ways he could not articulate. As Christopher gazed into Leilani's radiant eyes, A mix of conflicting emotions stirred within him: fear of the unknown, sympathy for her suffering, and an undeniable attraction to her otherworldly beauty. He took a deep breath, the weight of his past flooding his mind. Yet here she was, the embodiment of hope and desire. "Tell me what I need to do," he said, resolving to be the change he so desperately sought in his own life. "I'll help you break free." Genuine relief washed over her as she initiated their connection, her thoughts swirling around him like warm sunlight. "You must first unlock the chains. The magic binding me is ancient and powerful. It thrives on fear and pain. Only a pure heart can break it," she explained, her words resonating with a melodic cadence that both soothed and tantalized him. They spent what felt like hours exchanging thoughts and memories, the mountain receding into the background as they formed an unbreakable bond. Time seemed irrelevant in her presence, and Christopher felt lighter, as if the chains binding him were falling away, too. Days melded into nights as Christopher returned to Leilani, driven by a quest not only to free her, but also to understand her deeper. Their conversations took on a passionate intensity, ranging from laughter to tears, sharing stories of loss and dreams unrealized. "You remind me of the sun," Leilani said one evening, a wistful smile gracing her lips. "You bring warmth, even to this cold, dark place. And you remind me that there's beauty in the darkest corners," he replied, his heart racing at her words. Each moment spent with her chipped away at his lingering emotional barriers, leading him to confront the pain he had yet to face. With every shared thought, Christopher felt his feelings for her deepen. Her laughter brightened his days, and her sadness resonated with the echoes of his own struggles. But with the growing bond came reservations. Would she truly be safe if freed? The fear of unleashing an unstoppable force haunted him. Would she see him as a savior or a fool? Late one night, as silvery moonlight spilled into the cavern where she was bound, Leilani's tone grew somber. "When I am free, I fear what I might do, what power I might wield. I am stronger than I seem, and strength can corrupt. With power comes choice," Christopher reminded her softly, sensing her trepidation. "You can choose to use your strength for good. You can be the light that this world so desperately needs. But what if my power embodies darkness? What if I cannot control it?" She breathed, vulnerability sparkling in her gaze. "There is always risk in choosing hope over fear," he asserted, the conviction ringing true in his heart. "But perhaps that's what makes it beautiful. You are not alone in this. You have me." At that moment, their bond crystallized, a connection built on empathy and shared fears. Leilani looked deeply into Christopher's eyes, seeing not just a human, but a kindred spirit, someone who understood the weight of chains, both literal and emotional. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting a blanket of stars across the sky as Christopher ventured back to Leilani's side. Each night spent with her blurred the lines between reality and the fantastical, but as her power surged beneath the chains, so did his conflict. Questions loomed in his mind like shadows. Would freeing her be a grave mistake or a chance at redemption? As he approached her, Leilani's glow illuminated the cave, and in that moment, the weight of their connection felt electric, thrumming with potential. Yet her expression was pained, tinged with uncertainty. "Do you think I can control it?" she asked hesitantly, her sparkling eyes searching his. Christopher knelt beside her once more, yearning to comfort her. "I don't know what the future holds, Leilani, but I believe in you. You have the strength to choose your own path." He took a deep breath, the crisp air filled with unspoken tension. "I cannot leave you here, bound to suffer any longer. I need to know, the world needs to know, what you are capable of when you are free." With a gentle touch, he traced the contours of the chains, feeling the pulse of magic laced within. In that moment, a low rumble echoed through the mountain, shaking the ground beneath them. An ominous warning shot through Christopher's veins. Ancient guardians stirred, awakened from their slumber by the surfacing power of their connection. "The guardians," Leilani whispered, fear shadowing her features. "They will not allow me to be freed. They exist to protect the balance, and I, if released, could tip it." Then we will face them together. I won't let you go through this alone, Christopher pledged, feeling a fire ignite within. Resolving to fight for her freedom and face whatever darkness lay ahead, he was determined to push past the limits of his fears. As they prepared for the confrontation ahead, a tangled web of emotions coursed between them. Courage mingled with uncertainty. Hope interlaced with doubt. Would their bond be enough to weather the storm? Every fiber of Christopher's being urged him forward, as if destiny itself called them to action. With Leilani dependent on him, Christopher began dismantling the chains one by one, each click of the rusted links resonating like a heartbeat in the stillness. As the last chain slipped away, a kaleidoscope of energy erupted around them, dazzling lights swirling in the cave. The air crackled with magic, and Leilani gasped. Her release was imminent. "We must hurry," she urged, sensing the Guardian's approach. "If we do not leave this place, we will both be trapped." With every breath, the chain's remnants fell away, and energy coalesced around Leilani like a brilliant halo. In an explosive burst of light, she transformed before his eyes. Her form grew ethereal as she transcended the expectations of humanity. Her hair danced like tendrils of starlight, and her eyes shone with a depth of knowledge and power. "Christopher," she called, voice filled with urgency, yet laced with a new authority. "We must make a choice quickly." Her transformation awoke something fierce inside him. He knew he would stand beside her, no matter the cost. "You are free now," he whispered, backing her with every ounce of courage. "Together, we will fight for our hopes and dreams." As the last shackle fell away, a rumble reverberated through the mountain, the ancient guardians awakening to the looming threat of Leilani's unleashed power. Their ethereal forms emerged, glowing fiercely against the shadows, fierce protectors of the balance the realm had known for centuries. "You cannot allow her to roam free," one of the guardians intoned, its voice deep and resonating like thunder. "She will bring chaos upon this world." "We'll face them together," Christopher whispered to Leilani, his gaze locked with hers, a silent promise hanging in the air. In that moment, sincerity surged between them, a connection deepening beyond mere attraction. It was a bond forged in trust, vulnerability, and love. With a wave of her hand, Leilani summoned her newfound powers, luminous energy swirling around her as she prepared to combat the Guardians. Christopher stood by her side, heart pounding, ready to fight against forces that seemed both overwhelming and transcendently beautiful. The Guardians unleashed waves of energy, but Leilani held her ground, weaving her power with Christopher's determination. Together, they formed a shield of light that countered the Guardians' efforts, their synergy creating an unbreakable bond woven through magic and desire. As the battle raged on, moments of calm emerged, glimpses of peace amidst chaos. In those fleeting seconds, their connection deepened. The energy flowing between them was palpable, electrifying, a silent invitation to surrender to the undeniable chemistry simmering beneath the surface. In the midst of the battle, the tension reached an apex, and they locked eyes, recognizing that their shared essence transcended mere physicality. Here, under the mantle of danger and desire, they understood one another in a way that ran deeper than words. Finally, as the last guardian fell, defeated and fading into wisps of light, silence enveloped the mountain. The air shimmered with residual energy, thrumming with the unfulfilled promise of what had just transpired. In the stillness, Leilani turned to Christopher, her eyes wide with understanding and something more primal. A longing ignited between them like wildfire. "You freed me, Christopher. Now, the question lies in what comes next." Realization dawned upon them both, desire pooling in the depths of their connection. This was not merely a union of bodies. It was a melding of souls, energies intertwining to form a new existence. "I want to be with you, Leilani," he breathed, stepping closer, heart racing. "I want to celebrate our bond, our power united." Leilani's breath caught, and in a whirlwind of emotions, she surged forward, wrapping her arms around him, pulling him into an embrace that felt like home. "Then let us celebrate, for I have waited centuries for this moment." Their bodies brushed against each other, electric and consumed by the fiery resolve of their union. They surrendered to the deep, ancient magic that enveloped them, the mountain around them pulsating in resonance with their desires. As she pulled him onto the soft earth, beneath the celestial tapestry of stars, the world beyond faded away. They melded together, their energies blending, igniting an interstellar connection as they mated, the physical manifestation of their emotional journey together. Their souls danced together in a passionate embrace, flesh against flesh, heart against heart, creating a sacred bond that transcended the barriers of time and species. In that moment, it was not just a mating of bodies, but the fusion of their very essences. Magic swirled around them, binding them together in an exquisite tapestry of trust, love, and fierce determination. As they intertwined, the mountain bore witness to their union, an echo of their love reverberating through the ages. In those precious moments, they poured the weight of their pasts into one another, surrendering to the purity of newfound freedom. When the stars twinkled above, each one seemed to shimmer with their shared energy, an expression of the life they would build together, side by side. As dawn broke over the horizon, the golden light pierced through the remnants of the night, casting a warm glow upon the mountain that had held Leilani captive for so long. Christopher and Leilani lay entwined on the soft earth, the warmth of their bodies mingling together as they soaked in the aftermath of their union. Leilani's eyes sparkled with newfound strength and freedom, her radiant aura pulsating gently around them as if the mountain itself acknowledged the profound moment that had just transpired. Christopher gazed at her in awe, realizing that the journey they had undertaken had transformed him as well. He had faced his deepest fears, embraced vulnerability, and found love in the most unexpected of places. "It feels different now," Leilani murmured, tracing her fingers across Christopher's cheek, igniting warmth wherever she touched. "I can feel the power surging through me, but it is no longer a burden. It is a gift. I think it is more than just power. It is the connection between us," Christopher replied, awareness dawning. "You freed not just yourself, but a part of me that was lost too." With every breath, the bond between them solidified, intertwining their destinies. They rose together, hand in hand, and stepped into the light of a new day. The chains of the past melted away, replaced by the strong, unwavering connection they had formed in the heat of battle and the sweetness of their mating. "We must protect this mountain, and the world beyond," Leilani stated, her voice filled with determination. "Together, we can safeguard it from those who would seek to imprison or exploit it. Our love can pave the way for peace." Christopher nodded, energized by her conviction. "We can travel the stars, explore new realms, and unite the knowledge of our worlds. I want to help others like you, to seek out those who are lost or enslaved, and fight for their freedom." As they made their vows to each other, the mountain transformed around them, blooming with vibrant colors as if responding to their shared energy. The very fabric of reality seemed to shift, alive with possibilities they would soon explore together. Standing together at the edge of the mountain, hand in hand, Christopher looked into Leilani's eyes, which sparkled with hope and determination. "Whatever comes next, I will face it with you. You are no longer chained to this mountain or to your past, and neither am I." Their future lay sprawling before them like the heavens above, infinite and full of promise. They shared a passionate kiss, sealing their bond and stepping boldly into the unknown. United by love, strength, and the spirit of adventure, Christopher and Leilani embarked on a journey that no chains could bind. Their laughter echoed through the mountain as they descended, ready to embrace whatever awaited them, knowing that together they were invincible.